welcome everybody. It is UK Cowboys TV Season 1, Episode 66, the finale. Woohoo! We did it. So, are we all doing, guys? All happy?
No bad.
Yeah. It's not very often. Go on, sorry.
Hard to believe it's 66 episodes.
It ain't mad to think we've done 66 of these. And like probably the first 60 of them, we didn't have a clue what we were doing.
We probably don't know our clue going into season 2.
Yeah, that would imply that we know now.
I know. No, we don't. We really don't.
We've got more of an idea of what we're doing than what Jason Garrett does on his offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone had to say it, so it might as well have been the Yorkshire boy.
I see that the New York pizza pies have piled on the weight for Garrett.
I know, yeah. He looked a bit lumpy in that picture, didn't he?
Savage.
I can imagine his playbook of there's like a paint by numbers in it.
But yeah, guys, what we've got.
Drinking, Jamie, or is it completely sober?
I thought Jamie said on the pre-call he was not drinking.
I'm halfway through my first. Gonna be a good boy tonight.
See, told you it was early talk. Like, I'm not gonna drink. Not gonna drink.
Jamie, you're such a terrible fucking liar. This is like your fourth beer.
This hour, yeah.
No, guys, but
I'm off.
it's not very often. I don't think at all, ever actually. We've done a show. No, we have. I tell a lie. We have done a show where there's been all 6 of us, the live show. But this is the first time we've done an actual official episode where there is all 6 of us, and it happens to be the very final. The reason all 6 of us here is because it's the final episode. Barring, of course, 3 who just give a shout out. 3 members of the team throughout season 1 who aren't here with us. That is, of course, Lauren, one of the founding members of UK Cowboys. Ivan as well. He's been on a couple of episodes with us, and Joe Francis as well. So big shout out to them. But before we start the show and get into what we're doing today, for a bit of fun, I just want to say to you 5 guys, I just want to thank you guys for always making yourselves available in the week, being here, chatting, talking Cowboys, drinking beers, drinking wine, and basically helping people as well get through the lockdown. But thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Been a pleasure as well. But the way how you delivered that first line there, for you would give us a burger there where you talk about 5 guys.
It's definitely.
Got my bloody hopes up there. I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm feeling hungry now.
Shit,
5 guys, you're listening. We're looking for an endorsement, you know.
I don't get 5 guys here in Ireland.
Really?
What?
No.
Oh, we need to change that.
Yeah.
I don't go to the one here. It's I'm going to sound like a typical Yorkshire bloke. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Taco Bell. That's fine. Got some taco Bell. Get some beer. You can get some beer. It's like dropping into McD's, but getting your Big Mac with a bottle of bud.
Jamie, you've just given me a lot of ammunition with that statement. Thanks. You can expect messages later.
Oh, brilliant.
Nah, come on, right? We're not past the watershed yet, Brian. Let's leave that till after.
They won't be for me either.
Okay.
Oh man, this show is going off. I knew this was going to be a bad idea. All 6 of us trying to be together at once.
This is just like a preview for when the international series games get back and we all go to the pub together. We might as well.
I know.
We might as well show our colours.
People always ask. They say, "What's it like watching a game in London?" And it's like kind of similar to what's going on right now, just completely a bollocks happening. But tonight, to finish the season off, what we've got in store is basically a trip down memory lane. So what we're doing is I gave you guys a bit of homework. I said, look, we want 2 things. I want your favorite 2019 Dallas Cowboys moment for the season, whatever that was, and your favorite UK Cowboys TV moment. So we get to go back all the way back to the very beginning and look at what the season's been like. So what we'll do is we'll start off with you, Jamie, because I'm going in sort of episode order. What did you choose for your favorite UK Cowboys TV moment?
For this one, it was easy for me. It was the first episode that we did to kick all this off.
Anyway, we'll crack on with this. But you can see them eagerly waiting as well to talk to you. As we will have for every show, we've got a team waiting in anticipation with a plethora, and I thesaurus that word, of Cowboys knowledge and opinions. This week being the pilot show.
Yeah, just seen from them clips there. This is what it's. Everything's got to start somewhere, as they say, aren't there? And look where we are now. We're still on the air, so people are still tuning in.
I know, yeah. We haven't been like taken off air yet. Nobody's banned us or barred us, and and the good thing is what was important to look at is how terrible we were in episode 1. Right, for the first few episodes, it was like trying to figure things out. And like you say, you look back at that and you go, ooh, yeah, that's some pretty harsh production. And then you move along to where we are now and what you're seeing here now. Complete difference. And it's crazy that the amount of support that we've had through all of it, that's the big thing. But I mean, the good thing is all of us were actually in episode 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you say,
I don't think I was.
No, you wasn't.
I think you've got to start somewhere, and I just think it shows how much this has come along. Not just from episode 1 to now. Like you say, literally every week, it's just the numbers have got better, and I think it just shows how well as a group we are doing on this. Because like I say, just look at the guests that we've had on, and look at other podcasts going off other teams, and they don't get anybody as well known as we've been lucky as a fan group to even have these people offering to give up their time. Do you know what I mean? Especially with, like I said, the time difference as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's and they're in the peak of their day, and where at the end of the day, just a lot of guys and Lauren when Lauren comes on that we're on, and we pretty much just winding down our day drinking beer and
But here's a little fact. See if anybody can answer me this. Do any of you know? Right, so that's episode 1. For a bit of UK Cowboys TV trivia, does anybody know who the official first special guest was?
When it brought us.
No, it was Paul.
It was Paul.
Yeah, see, look, someone was thinking outside the box, because I was going to go with Richard there and go with Brian, but then I was thinking RJ. But yeah,
it's nice to feel special, I suppose.
You're special to us, Paul. You're special to us, mate.
Yeah, we love you.
Single life. Oh God.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next one. Yeah, we'll just move on from that before this gets completely awkward. We have an awkward off.
It's too late. It's already went awkward.
Yeah, we've got an awkward off. We've got an awkward off going on. Let's go to our next one, which was episode 19. Now, episode 19 was when we started getting into the pre-game, post-game shows. We were actually a few episodes deep into it. This one involved Cowboys media legends. I say legends because there were 2 people in this. It was the Taylor Stern and Brad Sham show.
Do you guys know Brad Sham?
Yeah. Hi, Brad.
Oh, Brad. Come in and say hi. Brad, I'm talking to UK Cowboys.
Hey, UK Cowboys. How are you?
Look at
This is crazy.
Hey, Brad. What's going on?
He is in Wales. He is in Ireland, and she's in England.
Fantastic.
Brad is a big soccer guy, obviously.
Yeah, but he supports a rubbish team.
Whoa, no.
We've spoken by someone who wishes they had as many trophies. Oh! Have a lovely day.
How many Champions
I owe
League?
you a
5.
drink, man. I owe you a drink.
Brad.
I'm going to rage quit.
Oh,
Yeah, so as you can see from the clips there, we did get 2 legends on. My one special guest I wanted on the show all along to get from our Cowboys media team was Taylor. When we reached out to her and got in touch, she was more than willing to come on. She was delighted, in fact, to be asked. We were having a really good show. There was myself, Rich, and Laura were on. We're having a great chat in the lead up to the New York Jets game. And halfway through the show, lo and behold, Brad Sham opens the door and starts chatting to us. And Brad dropped the most almighty burn of all time on poor LDW and the team she supports.
Yeah. Yeah.
it was glorious.
It was glorious.
God damn.
It is cool. But what was ironic about that moment there is it shows as well a bit of a relationship because of the banter that we have, because yourself, Jamie, Paul, and Lauren been over, creating contacts and making friends and telling them, look, here's UK Cowboys, don't forget about us. And the impression that you guys made left obviously a scar on them, if you like, because they remembered us. But in terms but I just want to
scarred them for life.
Scarred them.
But I think the biggest thing to come out of that was Taylor wasn't even on the trip when they came over in 2014, and all she's heard about for 6 odd seasons is the London trip, and everyone who's come on since has spoken about that London trip over and wanting to come back. But I think one of the other highlights in that episode, of course, was Taylor talking about all the violence and all the hooliganism. It was just, for a girl to come out with something like that was just so funny.
It was just how into it she was, well, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't like, oh, it's so violent. It was like, yeah.
So I think whenever we do manage to get the team back over in 2021, 2022 time, I think Taylor's whole social calendar is booked up for about 2 weeks because she wants to go to a football game. Rich is bringing her to the Valleys for a rugby game. I'm bringing her over to Ireland for a game in Thomond Park. I'm sure she's going to go up to the guys up in Scotland as well for a Rangers versus Celtic match.
You'd be very lucky to get a ticket for that, because that is like gold dust. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Like, and also the fact that I might be in Texas by then. So
you won't. You'll be staying there. You can't go to Texas and leave us behind. But on the talk of media, Cowboys media team as well, just want to give a shout out for these guys who joined us throughout the season from the Cowboys media team. Brian Broadus, who came on the show actually twice, David Hellman, Derek Eagleton, and of course Shannon Gross, which we'll come back to in a moment on Shannon. So we just want to give a big shout out to those guys for joining us throughout the season. Next season, we're looking to do the same again. So plenty more of that coming up with the Cowboys media guys. But the next guy on my list is episode 49, which was one of Rich's choice. This was actually the first episode, Rich, you came back from after having the deliverance of two. Yeah, you had twins, 2 babies brought into this world. So, yeah, you had to do the parental thing and learn how to be a dad. So you disappeared off the airwaves. So episode 49 was the return of Rich.
And we have the return of the man, the myth, the legend. That is Mr. Richard Jones from Wales. How are things, Rich?
Return of the Mac. How you doing?
All good. All good.
Oh, but yeah.
Daddy, take care in the house.
See if we can drop some C-bombs later on in this thing. Yeah, that was interesting. Sort of having. So obviously, we started, and I was on as much as possible because we were having so much fun doing it at the beginning, and then it was like mid October. It was just an abrupt stop, and then before I knew it, it was Christmas, and it was like, holy crap, how do I get back into this? And then like everyone just made it so easy. In fairness. And recording with twins at home is so much fun. So much fun. Oh, it's one of God's gifts, and I'll never. I'm pretty sure that was the first time I'd actually spoken to Paul and ranted about that chocolate pudding. I'm pretty sure it was that. Chocolate pudding. It was.
That was the best rant ever. You were so mad about that.
Oh, you'll understand. You'll understand one day. You get that chocolate pudding from Lidl, try feeding it to a kid, and Jesus fucking Christ, I still hate it. Hey, I'm genuinely
I've actually got a question for you, Rich, and it's nothing to do with chocolate pudding. But what one of the twins is going to become a wide receiver, and the other one's going to be the cornerback? Have you decided what one's which yet?
Well, Lily can't really catch anything for shit, so it's going to have to be Ollie. But I'm saying that they're 9 months old. It's like she can't catch. Fucking 9 months old.
You can just see Rich now in the off season getting the twins sat down in front of the telly. This is how you catch a ball.
Yeah, basically.
Chocolate pudding all over the walls.
I can just see him down the park, putting a bit of heat on a slant. Just impaling one of them.
I don't do what Tony Romo did to his child, throw the ball at the kid's face. It's just like, oh, better luck next time.
That's what I do now.
Don't
Like,
catch it, get it.
The chocolate pudding. They don't catch on it. We're like, right, that's it. Next thing, there'll be chocolate pudding just come across, and they'll just twat one of them kids up back at head with chocolate pudding.
Tell you what, that's a good wide receiver drill though. Just cover the ball in chocolate pudding. It's like, now catch it.
A slick ball. But I mean, what's good about that is I mean, you mentioned about being welcome. I think more than anything, that's just the way it works at UK Cowboys, which is something I've written down there. At the end of the day, if you're in UK Cowboys TV, part of Cowboys Experience as well, and the guys at OAT, all of them, once you're a part of it, you're part of the friendship, the family, the brotherhood. And that's something I mention and say all the time. As soon as you're involved in us, you're just part of the family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. We've got everyone's got each other's back, like you say. It's like a massive dysfunctional family, isn't it? It's like you just. It's probably the best way to describe it. It's like
definitely.
Yeah, I can certainly vouch for that when I went down to Leeds. I can certainly vouch for that.
You enjoyed that weekend that much that you lost your clothes before you got here.
Lost my clothes, lost my luggage, lost my bank card.
And down here.
And you know the worst part about that was when me and Jimmy were in Primark, I was trying to put some tried clothes on. Nothing fucking fitted me at all because it was super slim fit. I'm like, fucking, like, people need to eat a fucking sandwich, you know?
Literally, I literally will never forget Paul's face when I said, like you say, when I had to go pick up an hour and a half away from where I live, it was pissed as a fart outside the train station. Screamed at me like we'd seen each other for the first time, and then all the way back in the car, even though I was driving, tried to offer me this bottle of 2020. I'm like, Paul, I'm driving. He's like, right, fuck it. We just got on the phone to everybody in America, and he's like pissed up, and I'm driving, and it's like we're going down this country road, no lights. And...
Country road, take me home.
The most surprising thing about that whole story is the fact that Jamie hadn't been drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that close. It was that close. He was waiting for me. He was literally like because of the whole scenario with the whole bus and shit like that. I was like, Jamie, my lunch is still not here, and I'm still stuck in. God, what was the name of the bloody train station? Forever haunt me. It looked like I was in Emmerdale. That's what it felt like. Honest to God, right? Oh God, what was the name of that train station?
Skipton.
Oh God, that's it. Oh, I never want like.
I had 3 bottles of beer on the passenger side as well. Just laid there.
So literally, we've got Rich who hates chocolate pudding. Me, I hate Skipton. That's it.
That's your chocolate pudding.
That's my chocolate pudding.
And we'll find out throughout this episode what everyone's is.
And I do apologise to any residents who are UK Cowboys fans from Skipton. I'm sorry, man, but that place just gave me maybe wanted me to drink to my death that night.
Right, let's get on to the next one then, right? The next one is Graham's choice. Now, this was the live draft show that we did. One of the reasons as well in season 2, we're changing from the pre-recorded and going live was because of the response we had during the live draft show. I would just be open to the idea to join in, but it ended up being. I just worry about the fit. But Graham, you chose the live draft show,
and you see that on my board, the difference between CD Lamb and Chasen are apart. I mean, in terms of rankings, they're only 3 spots apart. Tell me what you think about that, Paul.
Talking just slightly before,
I'm still waiting for that
during and after the CD Lamb pick.
Oh, come on!
It was CD Lamb.
What?
I'm not happy with that.
100% true.
Jerry and his big splash.
It makes it probably it makes it one of the most dynamic. Think about this: you got Amari Cooper, right? So Amari Cooper is able to play on the inside and the slot. On the outside and the slot. You got Gallup on the outside, and then you can use Lamb in a similar way to Cooper.
Guys, I'll be back in a minute, man.
It makes it an extremely strong position for the Cowboys now.
Do you think you'll get 88? That stuck in my mind because it was like the one opportunity during the season where a bit of info, a bit of Cowboys news had just landed on us. You didn't have time to think about it. You just had to go with your gut feeling at the very second. And I think, if I remember rightly, we were apprehensive about it. But then when you kind of you let it digest a little bit for 24 hours and you go, well, okay, it's a tremendous value pick. The guy's going to be hopefully 1,000-yard receiver for the next 10 years. He's wearing 88 now. You know, he's part of the offense for the next I don't know how many years. So, but yeah, it was kind of like, there's the news. Go. What do you think? And we all had to think on our feet. But again, just overall, the draft show was so much fun. To sit and watch everybody pick up their futures live, particularly this year when it was so strange. You know, Roger Goodell sitting in a basement, just reading out all that kind of stuff and
shouting at the screen.
they kind of blend into one another, but this one you won't forget for a long time. We could have had the corner, we could have had the centre, but Jerry went luxury, and I don't know if you guys saw during the week, but some of the kind of writers expect the Cowboys to have 3,000-yard receivers this coming season. I'll be amazed. But
yeah, even Amari Cooper came out and says he hopes that CD Lamb can be contributing that much as well.
Yeah,
he hopes that the whole him, Gallup, and Lamb can get over 1,000 yards. So if that's the case, then great. It's going to be great for Dak if that's the case.
But again, just to cover it all, just what Mike said, absolutely thrilled that so many people were able to join us on the night, just to offer our little take on it and to bring the world closer together, because I think at that point we were right in the middle of lockdown and there was a lot of uncertainty around the world. So just to be able to sit down with good Cowboys friends and talk football, it was an escape that I think we all needed.
People absolutely loved it, and you know, even now, every now and then, I'll get a little notification pop up where somebody's liked the video. You know, like 2 people have liked, and you're like, really, even now? And you know, you go back and you look, and it's gone like from you know, whatever it is, 9,002, and then all of a sudden it'll be on like 8. Do you know? And this is something that happened back in April, where it's just Cowboys Nation wanting to join in as much as they can, you know, and that's the main thing. But yeah, I mean, it was just, and I think what was good about the live draft show as well was the amount of, because like people aren't aware, but the amount of work that went into that beforehand. I mean, it was a whole week of, Paul was on the design. I was doing the content. Yeah, you know, we had to. We all had to get our supplies in and get our setups all ready, and you know, we all got given specific roles. You know, we had, you know, Jamie, as I say, behind scenes. Paul was running the show, almost like a director. Brian working content with myself and Graham, and then Rich working the questions off Twitter, Facebook, and everything else. So it was just like everything just came together, and it was like it was the best way to describe it. Was lots of Lego bricks just scattered on the floor, and then all of a sudden, about a minute before the show started, we managed to make a house out of it.
That's a good way of describing it, yeah.
When you asked for the suggestions, Mike, and I know we kind of wanted to kind of split out, so we had kind of 6 different ones, but I think we had a discussion, didn't we, a few weeks ago? Although for reasons couldn't obviously be on air with you guys. But this was originally my pick, but we obviously Graham had got it in there. But like I say, just so popular. Like I say, just watching it, like I say, from the other scenes was just it kind of because it was the first one where I was like, when we do this, you can kind of watch it back and you can kind of edit little bits out, and
that's it.
Whereas this, it's just like I said, it's once that pick's in, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to go.
The action is there, and it just kind of from start to finish. It was just flawless from start to finish, and just to see the interaction. Although it was stupid o'clock in the morning, and comments in, and do you know what I mean? And like saying, it felt like say watching it from afar. You guys, you know what I mean? You guys, when you was on there, like you could have continued for another couple of hours. Although everyone was absolutely tired to hell because it was that early in the morning, but it just everyone was just bouncing off each other and keeping each other going, and it just showed how far the show's come.
Yeah. What's crazy is day 2, me and Paul ended up on another chat then the next night with Slashman and Tattoo Mark and all of them. So like, and it was me just staring at the screen, and like even my voice had gone. I was like, I gotta go to bed. And Paul's like, yeah, I'm going to bed too. And you got Stashman pissed out of his head. Brandon, who's drinking a Budweiser. they're all just like, yeah, man, this is great. And we're like, no, you don't understand. We've had like 2 hours. We've had 2 hours sleep in 3 days. There it is. But
can we give a special shout out? Because I think Jamie came out with it was either Jamie or LDW came out with this quote off camera on the night of the draft. It was the quote of the series.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it, Jamie, or shall I?
I can't. If it was me, I
can't remember.
It was. I know what it is.
Jerry had a little lamb.
I honestly don't even know if it was me.
Yeah, it was. Because as soon as you said it, we were all cracking up laughing. If you go back and watch the episode, it's on there. It's about 4 hours in. I know it was mad to say, but it's about 4 hours in. Because that episode, the live show as well, is like 7 hours long. Man, wild. But going into a little.
What are you talking about? The more it haunts me.
I know, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Paul's reaction is just as good. Is that day 2 or day 3 though?
Day 3. Was that also when Paul threw a pen as well?
Day 2.
No, yes. It wasn't a pen. It was my mouse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Why'd you do that, Paul?
Because initially I wanted a defensive player, and obviously it was just my initial reaction. I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are we going for? We're going for a wide receiver." But like Graham was talking about, after 24 hours of digesting and thinking about the pick, I actually grew to love the pick more than I think about it. So it was just the heat of the moment. But
Well,
yeah.
While you're there, go on, Brian.
No, because I was going to say, I think I was maybe about 30 seconds behind all of you guys on the coverage.
Yes,
you could see the reactions coming in, and then literally, I think Mike might have said, "Oh, I don't believe they've actually done it," and then Paul threw something. I was going, "Oh yeah, they've taken CD Lamb now."
I was open to the idea. What you got to remember with any draft is always be open to the idea of a player you're not expecting be drafted on your team. It's rule 1 because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's true. You could always ask the Packers.
Yes, there you go.
I'm just surprised that
Andy, you go to the second.
Still, surprised it took him, because he was definitely
love hearts.
Definitely at worst a top 10 talent.
I just had a flashback to after Paul sort of got used to it, and then he was putting in the group chat all the links to EDP's reaction, and it was like the same sort of reaction, but for different reasons. It was amazing.
They were brilliant. Like, if only I tell you, if people saw how we talk sometimes in our little group chat off air, I think people would not be watching this show. They think we all hate each other.
I'll tell you what would really put them off if you group some of these outtakes after we finish and we're still recording.
I know, yeah.
It's definitely a British sense of humour, that's for sure.
Yeah. Or like the ones where, we've just called each other up on weekends and got drunk, and then all of a sudden somebody stripped off naked or something.
Jamie.
It's like watching a true version of Beavis and Butthead.
Paul's just hiding his face now. Just
Mate,
like, oh shit.
I can't say anything. I've probably been the most embarrassing on my birthday when I got smashed and I had wigs and stuff on.
Mankini, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was the Mankini, and he was trying on different outfits and backgrounds. That was. I think Rhea dragging him off to bed was the fun part.
That was one of the sexiest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
God knows how many, changed his face to God knows how many vegetables. And at one point he was just clean.
Oh, amazing.
All for fun. But while you're there, Paul, we'll get you to bring in on the next one, which was episode 54, which you've chosen because, of course, it's your main man, Cowboys media friend, Mr. Shannon Gross.
Yes, absolutely. And also, this baby boy just arrived. So, he's now officially a dad. So, congratulations to my boy, Shannon. So, and congratulations to his girlfriend Megan. So, baby's hell, but they're going to announce it, like the proper details about the weight and that. A certain date and that, but in terms of the episode, it was just so good to have one of my good friends who I met in London back in 2014. We just kept a really good friendship, have him on the show, and he didn't hold back. He did not hold back in that show when it came to just having a laugh.
Today we have the 5D show. So we'll get to that in a moment. We've got my Welsh brother with me today, Richard, and my very close Scottish brother, Mr. Paul Stewart. And then, of course, we have MVP, if you like, of Hanging with the Boys and the Draft Show, we have straight live from America, the one and only Mr. Shannon Gross. How are you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. Doing even better now that I'm getting to talk to you guys.
Yeah, so Shannon didn't hold back. He just had a lot of fun on the show. We talked about football, but also we just talked about just general stuff and that. And he couldn't help but just say to have a few words about our own Jamie here. Can he understand that effing what he says?
It was the Shannon Gross episode was where Jamie got his nickname, Jamie, aka the Subtitle.
Yeah. The subtitle.
But also, while we're on the subject of talking
the subtitle.
Yeah, I'm talking subtitles because we've seen there as well.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like an MMA boxer's nickname.
I know, yeah.
That's only a fiver on back of a football shirt. Is that all right?
Hold on, let's turn on my subtitles.
No, don't do that again. Don't do that again.
Congratulations to Shannon and Megan. Yes, amazing news.
It's great, brilliant news. So yeah, that's BBG's finally arrived.
But also talking of other media people from away from the Cowboys that have been on the show, we just need to give a shout out to them and thank them for spending time coming on the show. Obviously, we had RJ, Achai come on, Kelsey and Meg as well from blogging the boys, Jeff Reinbold, an NFL UK favourite.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
That was a good laugh.
He was brilliant,
and he didn't hold back either. Yeah, we'll get Jeff on again. He's message. He's like he's right now like sharing our content still. Just like, oh, you don't have to do that. A big one as well that I quite enjoyed because obviously the college scout in me, Dane Brugler, really enjoyed having Dane.
That was
on.
A good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And of course, twice, one person managing to get her all on her own was Jane Slater as well from NFL Network. Brian getting a one-on-one interview with her in one of the episodes as well.
That was a highlight of 2019.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll get them all back on again. They're all waiting. But I just want to say a big thanks to all those guys, and I will be atting them to thank them for that. And also, we can't forget, there is a Cowboys player that joined us during the season as well. It was, of course, ex-safety and defensive captain Ken Hamlin.
That's right. The man with all the cigars in the world.
I know. Do you know what? If you do, you guys follow his Instagram?
It's some collection, by the way. I have to admit.
And he must be going to Cuba because there's no way they sell those cigars in America. They're massive.
I'm not kidding. They're probably bigger than this bloody cup.
Some of them are.
Jesus.
Honestly, follow Ken Hamlin on it. He honestly is brilliant. He's just such a laugh on it. He's so funny. Got to enjoy it. But then, of course, my UK Cowboys moment is a shout out to all the Cowboys creators from various areas that we've had on during the 2000 or season 1, I should say, of UK Cowboys TV. So here it is.
It is, of course, the one and only Mr. Barry Gibson. You all right there, brother? Yay! Woo! And a friend of the show, we've got Mr. Big Game James. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm just blessed. I'm honored.
We have a special guest with us. We've got Brandon. Brandon with us from Cowboys Y'all. And, of course, the return of one of our favourites in the special guest bracket. We've got Big Game James. How are you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling good. Anytime y'all call me and hit me up and jump in that inbox, I'll be doing cartwheels.
College Football Collective UK, where we try and advertise and raise a profile of NCAA football in the UK. But he also has his own operation, Pro Football Ready, website and a show. So go over to the show. I do recommend it. Plenty of college football prospects in this year's draft getting interviewed. Going quite strongly that show now. Joel, I was the whole Pro Football Ready operation going for you. The USA DC scouting. We have Mr. West Coast with us, Tyson Jameson. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing this evening?
One half of the Cowboys Zone podcast, and for anybody who isn't already subscribed or aware of the podcast, make sure you go over, listen to it, get some great guests over there, including ourselves. We were probably the greatest guests. I think we're probably the best ones, I would say.
You guys set the tone for the first season, so yeah.
Yeah, so I just need to give a big shout out to all those people. Big Game James, who was on the show. Probably we could have put him on our credit team. He's been on UK Cowboys so often. West Coast as well. Brandon and Marcus. That's Cowboys Y'all, Bluff City Cowboys from Cowboy Zone. Joel as well from Pro Football Ready, who lives only down the road from me and Rich. And Barry Gibson from Official America's team. But here's one special guest we need to mention. He has, in fact, this special guest, if you can guess who he is, has been a special guest on this show more than any other.
Brothers.
Nope. Come on. He's been on virtually nearly half the shows.
Oh, for fuck me?
No. You're part of furniture. He's been the special guest on this show for nearly half of the shows.
It's got to be your dog, surely.
No, not my dog. The lucky... He is not special.
The lucky ball.
No. Shall I tell you?
Oh, that would have been a shout.
Shall I tell you? It is, of course, Mr. Cowboys Experience, Barry Griffiths. Shout him out. Yeah.
Oh.
So big shout out to you, Baz, and we will be speaking in a week.
I tell you what, you played that a little bit slyly there, because we obviously didn't think outside the box there. Everything's going
off you go again. Off you go again.
Yeah.
How many bottles of beer on the wall?
Stop drinking.
Oh, but I just want to give a shout out to all the creators, mainly because although it's great that we get the media guys on, those guys get paid for what they do, where the creators, just like us, they take in the time, especially the guys in America with the time zones and time difference. It's an absolute nightmare trying to get it sorted, and they just give us their time freely, doing what they do, doing what they love. But let's get into, guys, the 2019 Cowboys moments. So I'm going to take the reign first. My favorite Cowboys moment from 2019 involved a little bit of pussy.
And just quickly connecting underneath and then turning the corner with that speed is Evan Ingram. And there is a black cat now on the field. Halloween this past week, and a black cat is running across MetLife Stadium. Oh. Is this going to be bad for the Cowboys? If you're superstitious, a few weeks ago we were here for a Monday Night Football game. We had another Halloween theme. Now comes this.
Maybe we need to bring the ghost back to get rid of the cat. I mean, maybe we should. I don't know. I mean,
so we've gone from seeing ghosts to black cats now on Monday Night Football in MetLife.
Oh boy. Oh, this ought to be fun here.
And if this Cowboys season doesn't go the way it was expected to, blame that guy.
I mean, look at his change of direction.
He's got great lateral movement.
Oh, my goodness.
And we got the New Jersey State Troopers out there. Witt's wondering what in the world's going on. Prescott's trying to stay warm. Now, how do you get a cat?
Oh.
Who's got cat corralling skills in them? Oh, there he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Felix has...
Yes, so trying to catch you guys out on that one. It is, of course, the black cat. Ironically, is what happened. So if you remember, it's the Giants game, right? And at that point, it looked a bit sketchy. I wasn't sure if the Cowboys are going to win. It was Halloween as well. It was Halloween. And the black cat does its thing. And before you know it, Cowboys are back on top. And it was a big Halloween black cat miracle. So, yes, the black cat gets the tip of the hat from me and became my favorite Cowboys moment. Any of you guys, though, right? I'm not going to ask you about cats or anything like that before we go down that road. But any of you got any animal moments or moments on the field that you can ever remember that have happened, something strange on the field?
Well, my animal moment of the year is not on the field, but it was definitely last week's episode when your dog frightened the crap out of you.
What was that?
That was pretty funny.
Although there is another animal moment was the episode with Kelsey and Meg. We had cats, we had dogs, we had birds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I've got to. Well, I say it's not an American football. It was just one from years ago, but I don't know if we can. If people get
it. Yeah, go on.
Well, we all played soccer, didn't we, growing up, or some kind of sport. And I used to play Thunder League football, and we used to play at the other side of Leeds. And you just know it's going to be your day when something like this happens. And when you come out and you're that young and you have to get there early and put the nets up and the flags out and all that kind of crap. And where the changing rooms were, one of the lads kind of was carrying some of the nets out, and he could hear some birds in the trees. Looked up, and next thing, this bird just shit in his mouth. Well, it was so sod's law. But when you say it, and he just got so much crap for it. But do you know when they always say that when things like that happen, something does happen. The lad went on to score a hat trick in the game as well.
Oh Lord!
So hilarious. But yeah, that was one to do with sport for me.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
How has it gotten to I think animals in people's mouths? How have we got to that?
There was that many in the trees, and I think it was just amazing. Kind of went that. It just got in his mouth. He went on. As I said, he went on. But obviously, give him a good load of luck, or a shitload of luck, if you want to play the pun. But he went on to score a hat trick that game, and we won.
Brilliant! I love it. Well, Jamie, while you're talking, while you're talking, Jay, right, and we've got you there. What was your 2019 Cowboys moment?
Well, actually, if we not to kind of steal the show, but we kind of had a laugh about one. I did mention one and thought, yeah, shall I be? And I was going to say Jason Garrett getting sacked just so we can finally move on. But yeah, we thought we would just kind of raise the bar a little bit more. But it was the victory over the Rams for me.
Prescott fires, pass is caught. What a catch for the touchdown. Jason Witt.
Expect some type of, there you go.
Goff throws, pass is caught for the touchdown, Gurley. Prescott in trouble. And wide open. And now the foot race. The former Ram, Austin, for the touchdown.
I think so.
Here's Elliott. He's got it for the touchdown.
First down, Dallas.
Elliott. What a half. Touchdown, Dallas. Touchdown, Elliott.
Attempts this.
50-yard try. Welcome to the Cowboys, Kai Forbath. Second down and goal. Gurley, left side for the touchdown. With basically the division on the line as Pollard is able to get loose, stays inbounds.
Jones for the touchdown. The fight that they had to put up the last couple of weeks, Wentz having to get a touchdown by Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and the reason for that, because obviously the whole debacle of them knocking us out of the playoffs the season before, and when we had such a good chance of getting to the Super Bowl, and it's always nice to kind of get some revenge for someone ending your season in such a way.
Mm. And I think what was crazy about that game is Cowboys offense last year, pretty good, not bad. But what you saw in that Rams game, which is very similar to what you saw in the first Eagles game from last year, is when a Cowboys offense is clicking and on fire. That is what you're seeing. And then we talked about it earlier, the Lamb pick. They've only made their offense stronger. So I think the best way to look at what the ceiling of the Cowboys offense can be is just look at the Rams game, especially, is a great way to look at it. I mean, the game was over by halftime.
Yeah. I mean, the Rams thought they had a good crack at the Super Bowl this last season. That's why they went after Ramsey. They thought Ramsey was going to be the final piece. They shelled out for him, and they thought they were Super Bowl contenders. And for us to punch them in the face like that was something special.
Oh yeah, I think me and you, Gray, we were talking about it and talking like how crazy the Rams, like that whole team has gotten, and that they're just completely fallen off the shelf.
Yeah.
The cap issues, the draft issues. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we were just like, it's just completely crazy how quickly the cheese has slipped off the cracker,
Yeah.
It's like they were going for instant success, and that comes with a price.
Yeah. What you're seeing, I think, with the Rams team at the moment is a coaching and a GM staff that think that you can problem solve an NFL roster, and you can't. It's deeper than that. You can't just problem solve it.
It all goes back down to the base and the foundations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only good thing you can say about the Rams is Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember talking about Sean McVay when we were considering Garrett's replacement, and basically saying like a lot of people have figured out Sean McVay, and there doesn't seem to be a great variation nowadays in the play. So you can have a good idea, but the Wildcat was a great idea, and then nobody runs it because everybody knows exactly what it is. So unless you're constantly evolving, somebody's going to figure you out sooner or later.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think as well. I mean, if you say something, I mean, if you've got to dumb down your offense the first year because your quarterback doesn't know which way the sun rises, but there you go. It's obviously which way receivers run.
Well, I mean, we get to see how far along he's developed mind in this year's Hard Knocks, because it goes back to LA this year.
Yeah, it looks a good one. Does this one, doesn't it? It's both the teams looks really good, doesn't it?
Both LA, yeah. So it's quite nice. We advertised it actually on UK Cowboys last week, so it should be a good laugh. Go on, go for it, Brian.
If I jump in there, and this is something that we haven't looked at. And you mentioned it to the game with the Eagles as well. That also showed how good a Dallas Cowboys defense can be. The defense showed up so much in both of those games. They created havoc. They created turnovers. Jalen Smith was flying about the place. Sean Lee in the Eagles game flying about the place. They absolutely showed no respect for much vaunted offenses and said, you're in our house, you're not going to do that to us. And that's what I hope to see next year from this Cowboys defense, is that kind of in-your-face attitude.
Yeah, smash mouth football.
Smash mouth defense. Yeah. Because I think you're quite right in saying that. I think, in fact, the Eagles game was when Jalen Smith got the fumble recovery and went for a dash down the line. If I can remember rightly, I could be wrong. I'm pretty certain it was the Eagles game. He took a fumble recovery, went for a bit of a jog up the field.
Went for a jaunt.
Yeah. But let's
just to go back to Hard Knocks for a minute. The NFL are actually going to save money on it this year because they're just going to use whatever the Patriots record.
Oh.
Oh, Graham.
And we thank you.
With the mic drop there.
Yeah.
So season 2's cancelled.
Are the Patriots recording us right now?
We'll find out when the lawsuit comes through now.
Yeah.
Belichick's Skype
Skype. Yeah. But let's get into the next. Well, let's have a look. Who should we go for next? Let's go for Paul, because this is a nice one. Your highlight, mate, and then we'll run the clip. What was your highlight of the 2019 Dallas Cowboys?
The death of the Washington Redskins, who are now the Deadskins.
Why take the chance? They're able to make the stop on third, force this field goal attempt. And kind four back. Prescott out to his left. Throws, caught, touchdown, Elliott. Unrestricted free agent to be. Here's Elliott on 2nd and 4. First down and more. Stays upright. Touchdown, Elliott. The half at the Giants. 2nd down and 6. Cam throws, pass, caught, touchdown. Steven Sim. Past 10 years. 2nd down and goal. Prescott. Gallup. Touchdown, what a catch. Into its lead over the Giants. Prescott. Gallup. How did he stay on his feet? Gallup. End zone. Touchdown. 37-16, 3rd down and 6. Pass is caught. How about another? The hat trick. Gallup for the touchdown. To Canton, Ohio, that's for sure. And I just wonder if he would travel with Ron.
Dallas pretty much laid the coffin for that franchise with over what 70, 90 years history or something like that.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to say this new Washington football team are still established, yet they're not got the same name. Nah, they're established 2020. You're not that team anymore. Like it or lump it, you've changed the face of your franchise. So, but it was actually kind of nice how we actually performed that game. I know I find that game like kind of sealed our fate beforehand. We couldn't make the playoffs and that, but it was a nice high to the last game of the season, winning 47-16. Prescott looked really good in that game, despite even though it was nothing to play for, but it was. But yeah, I just kind of felt like with everything that was going on, it just kind of seemed fitting. You know what? We just kind of just laid the funeral ground and the nail in the coffin of that franchise, and WFT, WTF to them, whatever. You know.
The thing about probably being a Washington fan on it, because there's, although they've changed names, there's still going to be a similarity between both the teams. They're both shit.
Well, a team with Dan Snyder in charge of it is always going to be very questionable. They can try and change their history by changing their name, but they're still the same scumbag organization.
By the way, I just need to give a shout out to UK Washington football team. We do apologize. They do talk to us a lot, and we need to give a shout out as well to UK Patriots as well. Brian going on their show as well.
I'll be public anyway. Number 1 now.
Yeah, they're going to stop talking to us. They blocked us already.
Brilliant.
No, but it was a good. I think 2 things is first of all, at when it was at the present, it was good to see the Cowboys to the very end will fight. They will fight. They will play. Like you say, Paul, even if it's for nothing, they're on that field. They're earning a paycheck. They're earning a paycheck, they're playing the game, and they're playing with passion. And that's what you get to see, especially in a game that has no meaning. Also, then, it's the hindsight bit, like you say, that when you look at it, that officially the Washington team, when they were called that, their final game was, in fact, an absolute thumping by
it was
their bitter rival, the Dallas Cowboys.
It's not like if and again, apologies to the Washington football team fans. It's not really a nice memory that you want to be renamed as the Redskins as your last game. But I was trying to say something I completely forgot now. I'll come back to me in a wee second.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, we can always retort back to that. I'm going to move on, right, to Graham's game. And as soon as he said this, right, I said, I need your best Cowboys, mate. He told it to me, and I went, oh. And obviously, we've been doing highlight clips for it all. And I tell you, I was fucking fuming doing this highlight clip. So, Graham, what was your 2019 highlight? And then I'll run the clip.
Now, I'm going to have to clarify this because in the chat, I said to Mike, right, I want this one. No, you can't. He's got it. No, I want this one. Yeah, he got that. Yeah, I want this. I want that time when they did that. Nah, that's gone too. So I basically went for an opportunity where we had somebody on the ropes pretty much. Now, fair enough, they'd lost Drew Brees, right? We get that. They'd lost Drew Brees. But it was actually the loss to the Saints.
Thomas with no score. Four-man rush, look out. Bridgewater escapes. Bridgewater looks downfield, fires, juggled and intercepted. Deflected and a pick in front of the Cowboy bench. 3rd down and 2. Prescott checking, taking off. He can run and slides to a stop at the 39-yard line. He got a flag.
Unnecessary roughness, number 24.
Here in Nebraska, and he puts the first points of the night on the win over the Texans. And then Lutz bangs that one.
54 again.
Down to 2. Here comes the blitz. Look out. He's going to get spun down. 2nd and 12. Loss of 2. Prescott fires off play action down the seam, and that is Blake Jarwin, the number 2 tight end. 11th play of the drive. Olawale in at fullback, leading the way and putting his head down and getting across the goal line for a touchdown is Elliott. It is the first touchdown of the game, and the Dallas Cowboys have said they didn't get a flag, but pretty clear evidence there wasn't.
Shoes at 25 seconds on the clock.
Prescott looking to air it out. Deep downfield into traffic. You've got 4 white shirts and 1 blue shirt.
Okay, now to go into the Superdome. Now you guys will all know Superdome's a hard place to go. To go into the Superdome and give them the fright that we did, it was probably the hardest loss to take because not only was it so tight and such a hard place to go against a good team. Now, let's not forget, Teddy Bridgewater's not a starter, and he's a starter for a reason. So to have that situation and then for it to be, for me, the certain point in the season where the wheels started to come off because we were 3-0, we were flying, we were every single guest on the podcast and every single host, every single panelist on the podcast, we were wondering when we would swap the division because we were 3-0 and you couldn't blame us because we were playing lights out football. We were so good in the first 3 weeks of the season, and after that Saints loss, it started to wobble because we went 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, and then it just unraveled from there. So that was the closest point where I could find the kind of glimmer in the darkness. Really, It's terrible to say darkness at week 4, but it was such a to and fro season for us. But yeah, just to reiterate, to go into the Superdome and almost punch them in the face the way we did, that was the hardest loss of the season for me.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And what's crazy is the first 3 games, we'd scored 97 points, right?
Yeah.
Here's the crazy bit. The Cowboys had scored nearly 100 points in 3 games, and we'd only given up 44. That is wild. And here's a little stat for you. I thought, because as soon as you mentioned it, Graham, I thought, let's have a little look at this. Teams that go 3-0 at the start of the season, it's about 50-50 for 3-0 teams to make the playoffs. Teams that go 4-0 is a significant jump. Nearly 70% of teams that go 4-0 make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is the difference behind it all. And that is why it was that game that stung and hurt quite a bit. And yeah, I hated making that clip.
You know, though, like Graham said, though, I mean, that's just such a tough place to go, regardless if obviously there was no breeze. But you said, because that football team is just absolutely phenomenal all over the field, and you could probably argue that was probably our best performance against the Saints since, if I'm wrong, the year was it when D Ware got the injury and then he came. The neck injury, and he came back, didn't he? And he had pretty much a lights out game. And I think was that the year that they gone something like, was that the year when they went 7, 8, or 9-0, and it was the first time they'd lost that year. And we said, and we showed what we could do. That's probably the best performance we've had since then against them as well. Like I say, back in their gaff, it's just not the place to go, is it?
Just to reiterate what Jamie was saying, they went 13-3. With the Breeze injury, so exactly. It wasn't as if their season fell off the cart. They still made the postseason. So, I mean, I don't know this for certain, but I'd imagine it's extremely difficult to get tickets for the Superdome. You know, like Saints season ticket holders are, you know, they're one of the loyal bunch. You know, you don't you don't get an away presence at the Superdome.
I mean, put it this way, just to put it into perspective for you, that the Saints won against the Seahawks the week before. That's when Drew Brees went out with the injury. I think it was a hand injury. But they won that game, right? So from week 2, they went on, with the Cowboys being the second game, they went on to win 6 games in a row. And then they lost the game and then just went on another streak.
And to be fair, like you say, Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he gets a lot of credit for what he does. Like I say, it was just unlucky, wasn't it, in Minnesota that he got the injury, but he's still a top quarterback. He's Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that there, Jamie. Like he is getting the respect now. He has been given the starting role ahead of Cam Newton. Like the Panthers the new head coach should have like Cam wanted to stay and should have signed him to a new deal and that. He says no. I know exactly. I know he knew exactly who he wanted as his quarterback, and surprise to all of us was Bridgewater.
And what's crazy is that game. I don't know if you remember, but before that game against the Cowboys was Teddy Bridgewater's first game back. And he was crying, and that was after he had that, you know, close to losing his leg injury. So that just goes.
Was that when he was still at Minnesota?
That's when that happened. Yeah, in training camp, and
that's right. Yeah.
I think if you look at it as well, like you say, I think for what he did as well in terms of. It was the start of Minnesota, and a lot of them sit there, don't they, and say, right, I was a starter here. I go somewhere else. I want to be a starter. And I think what was good to see was, although he didn't obviously play for the Cowboys, he kind of thought about the bigger picture and was like, well, do you know what? I've got an opportunity to go to somewhere and learn even more from one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game.
Definitely.
And he's reaped the benefits because when he's come in he's played at a high level, and now he's got another chance, and he's got a chance to turn another franchise around.
Here's a crazy one for you. What do you think Jameis Winston's going to be thinking now?
Yeah,
he's done. Do you know what's crazy? Is I said this during like his pre-draft talks. I was talking about with mates. I said, look, I don't think he's going to make a good quarterback. I think he'll make a great coach, but maybe not a good quarterback.
Do you know what I bet he's actually doing now? I bet just to kind of let's go down the piss take route here, where you always see during the off season quarterbacks generally take their offensive line out and that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But Jameis Winston's already on the phone to opposition defensive backs. Just let's go out for some food, put some INTs this year.
But just one last point I'll make on the Saints game. The final score was 12-10.
Yeah,
and the
close.
Saints kicked field goals.
They did, yeah,
in their own house.
Yeah.
Straight away, Alvin Kamara played, Michael Thomas played.
Yeah.
Bridgewater was, he's now a starter, and you just wonder that was one of the bright lights for our defense in that game in a pretty dark season.
Yeah.
And it was
on their opening drive, Awuzie picked off Bridgewater, and the tide turned. We took the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, right? Like, I'm just looking at last season. See, every game that we won, we were well over 30 points. Let me just double check. Yeah, over 30 points every game that we won. I mean, that's still a decent. Like, there's no been like a game that we won that it was like under 20.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there was no close games.
Yeah, and like the Jets game was 22-24. Like you said, they're around 10-12. Patriots was 9-13. I mean, there were all these games, so close games that were hardly any touchdowns, and it was all. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm about to say this, and I thought I would never say this again. It was all down to bloody field goals.
Well, I was just going to come in there, but Graham stole my point. But the other point I was going to make is I've just taken a phone call from a very irate Mr. Wilson Senior. And he's very angry at his son for not mentioning the Aaron Jones 4-touchdown game.
When was that?
I'm trying to erase that one from my memory. Yeah.
It was. It was week 5.
Guys, you've no idea the amount of times I see that picture where he's doing that stupid little wave that got him fined as he. Yeah. I think it's Awuzie that he's waving at as he jaunts into the end zone for his. He actually got fined for that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's how insightful it was.
Good, he's a prick.
When something like that happens, I always look like, I know they're celebrating stuff, but I would just love to see something a bit like out of the water boy. Like when he's in the end zone, he's just waving, and all of a sudden you just say this, just gives you a big fine, give a drop kick.
What's going on tonight, man? Well, okay. Brian. Talking of laying the wood and smashing people out, what was your particular 2019 Cowboys moment?
Well, for the president of the Jeff Heath Appreciation Society, the Dallas Cowboys years. My 2019 moment was probably Jeff Heath's last great moment in a Dallas Cowboys jersey. It was his hit on Alan Hearns in week 3.
Ball on a 14-play drive and punches in the opening touchdown. Watch the collision here. It's Alan Hearns wiped out by Jeff Heath. You're going to see a replay of it. The good news is Hearns was down for a little while, but Hearns got up and walked off the field on his own power. No penalty thrown on the play. Heath thought he had an interception. It's almost like Heath lost track of where Hearns was and didn't know the collision was coming himself. Because in years, big collision there. Somehow.
All right, so just so we know, Bri, you're not on about injuring players. It's about the hit.
Yeah, it is about the hit because if you look at the scoreline at the time, it was 3-0 to the Cowboys. It was the middle of the first quarter. Heath was playing as a single high safety. If he hadn't put that hit in on Alan Hearns was taking it 70 odd yards to the house. He was home free. There wasn't coverage there. It was a typical Jeff Heath putting his body on the line type play for the team. It was, for me, it was, 2019 was the start of the year was the crowning moment for Jeff. He became a captain of the team probably a year past when it should have happened. And, he took on that leadership role. In that game, he laid out Alan Hearns and probably injured himself and concussed himself, because after that game, you could see Jeff Heath wasn't playing to the standards he could play to. We're not saying Jeff Heath was the greatest safety of all time, even though he is. But
good one.
He didn't play to the same standard the rest of the year. There just looked to be something off with him. And because we had a lack of safeties, we couldn't not play him in games, and he just didn't look the same player.
Yeah, I think a bit of it was age. I think one of Jeff Heath's biggest positives, if you like, was his acceleration and his top end speed. And then as he gets older, I think that was just taken away from him. So he lost that edge. What made him special, if you like.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that, I see what you're saying, and it was a big collision. I don't think he intended to injury. It was more about they were both going for the ball and they both collided.
It was both. If you look at it in slow motion, it was both players had eyes on the ball. They weren't looking. There was nothing in peripheral vision. It was straight on the ball, and they came together at the same time. But the thing about that game was the Cowboys had stalled, and just that one hit got them going. It got them into the game, and suddenly things turned around. It was a case of, could they go 2-1 or 3-0? And they got that changed the impact or the trajectory of that whole game.
Yeah, and
they went 3-0.
And what's wild is it happened to a guy who is a Cowboys fan favorite, Alan Hearns, because he had that nasty injury while he was at the Cowboys as well. The bone crunching, gritting your teeth, shutting your eyes injury that brought a tear to everyone's eye. So I mean, at the end of the day, go on.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, Brian stole his last part of his comment. Stole the words right out of my mouth, and I know we give Brian some undue stick off air for his love of Jeff Heath, but yeah. When you're in a tight knit game like that, you look for a spark somewhere. It can be anything. It can be a punt that gets somebody backed up to the 1 yard line, or like you say, it can be a pass that comes off somebody's hand. And they say, and that hit just completely changed the game. And
yeah,
and they say so. Fair play to him for that. I say, and he always give 110%. It's just we like to just wind Brian up, don't we?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I've heard that Brian's ordered a Raiders jersey with 82 on the front and 38 on the back.
I Vegas wait to try and get a Raiders season ticket.
I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
Be honest, though, mate. Be honest. You're amongst friends now. How hard did you cry into your Jeff Heath jersey when you realised he wasn't going to be a Cowboy anymore?
I said it on the show a couple of weeks ago. I've cried into the jersey, the game worn jersey every night since Jeff's departure.
You know what, though, Rich? I heard he's taken that Jeff Heath jersey to some kind of fabrication place, and he's asked him to spray it black and silver.
Oh, Jamie!
I tell you something. We spoke about him earlier. I know somebody who would like that would be Jeff Reinbold. He's a huge Raiders supporter.
The Raiders.
Fucking hell! It's Emperor Palpatine now.
The Raiders. And let's not forget they're now officially renamed, even though they've relocated to Las Vegas. They are now officially renamed the Dallas Raiders with the amount of ex-Cowboys staff they have.
Daniel Ross, Witten, Heath. There was one more, wasn't there?
Yeah. I think Graham needs to be, even though he's obviously an admin, he needs to be banned from posting in the group, because that picture of Jason Witten they posted in the group just killed me.
It's disgusting. It doesn't look right, does it? It just does not look right. No. But I tell you what did look right is Rich's choice for 2019 Cowboys moment. Yeah, so we're going to end our moments on a high. What was your moment, Mr. Richard?
Mr. Richard. It was the end of that third game, and all the emotions that came with that. That was quite good.
Snap and hold are good, and the kick is not. Attempt by Brett Maher. Get the Cowboys on the board and
make a little bit of noise here early in this game.
Garcia's 31 yards already. Prescott, a lot of time, throws, complete touchdown, but a flag. It's Cooper.
And Cowboys, they're going to make offensive adjustments. We got to match their fury.
Pam thanks. That's what they're trying to do now. Prescott to the end zone. Touchdown. It's another one for Amari Cooper.
Thank you for the block.
Fake to Elliott. Prescott looking, gonna run it. Dak Prescott for touchdown.
He spoke of being heartbroken over the fact that he couldn't get down on the floor, roll around.
And look at Pollard with the big run while you're talking about Frederick opening up at a big.
Being assistant head coach is out with illness, and that's hurt this franchise as well because it's a young coaching staff and they needed him.
Here is Pollard all the way in for 6.
Yes, so it was obviously after having gone 2-0, obviously not just to start the season, but in the division as well. So everyone's already hyped up, like fuck. And then you go in, and then that happens, and then you're like, holy shit! Like you said, when you go sort of 3-0, you're at about a 50-50, and everyone's aware going in, and it's all hyped up as well. That if you go 4-0, you're pretty much you're more likely than not you're going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
But obviously it all went fucking downhill, clowning from there. But after those first 3 games, it was just fuck me. This team can really do it. Jesus Christ, let's get behind them. They can seriously do it. I know everyone was sort of split in two between sort of all the defenses they've played, and in fairness, they kind of had a point. But it was just riding the hype train at that point, especially after all the stuff that had happened in the off season with Zeke holding out and all that. It was nice to see. It was nice to get back into football, and that start to a season. We were all just like, Jesus Christ, this could really be something.
Yeah,
and it was, but it was fun at the time.
Yeah,
it was nice.
But just to back on to what Rich was saying, that I remember at the time we were getting really down on people on the haters, because my point at the time was, we could be nobodies in 6 years' time. Enjoy now. We were 3-0 at the time. Enjoy the hype, because in 6 years' time, you could end up with a nobody coach, a nobody QB, second-rate wide receivers. You don't know where you're going to be with the salary cap. So enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And some people just couldn't help themselves. They couldn't buy into it.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Go on. I'll let you guys take it.
No, I was just agreeing. I was just saying.
All right. Well, what I was going to say is, here's a crazy stat, right, to give you an idea of how bad the Dolphins were. That they went on the opposite way round of what the Saints did. That they played Cowboys during all of this. They went on a 7-game losing streak. They didn't win their first game till week 9.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yikes. Yeah. Yikes.
Was it not against the Patriots they beat?
Uno momento, por favor.
It was something retarded like that, wasn't it? Or was that
No, it wasn't the Patriots.
No, it was the Jets.
You can't really class that as a win then, really, because, do you know what I mean? Us 6 would beat the Jets.
We didn't beat the Jets, Jamie.
Yeah, we did beat
us 6. I mean, like, us, like,
Dolphins and Jets, shit versus shit.
No, but what's crazy is we struggled against the Jets, and then the Dolphins, their first win of the season, they thumped them.
Yeah.
Just shows you that anything can happen in football. Just shows you.
Any given Sunday, mate. Any given Sunday.
Yeah, that division has been that after 20 years, that division finally becomes a bit more competitive, doesn't it?
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. It's been the worst. It's been the worst division because it's just so lopsided.
I know it's now everyone's talking. I tell you what, though, with Brady now going to Tampa Bay now, you've got Breeze, you've got Matt Ryan and that. You've got really good quarterbacks in that division all competing. So
Teddy B.
That's right.
I wouldn't put Brady. I wouldn't put Brady in there though.
I know, but I know it's still, we don't know how it's going to transpire, but it's still going to make the division the most interesting one.
Very interesting to watch, yeah. Very hype.
But see, do you think the Dolphins signed Taco Charlton and he didn't turn their season around? I don't know.
Yeah.
The
Strange,
great Taco Charlton.
I think the Miami's still got the Ray Finkel jinx, haven't they?
Yeah, the only thing is though that I'm annoyed about is they have Byron Jones.
They had a lot of cap space to get him to be fair.
I know.
Like, there was no way we were going to compete with that. Like Byron did want to stay, but I can understand like it's a short career playing professional football, and you need to try and get as much money as you can. I totally respect it. And it's a business end of the day.
Exactly. And the players are in the business. Yeah, players are in the business of their own business as well as the teams making their own business too.
Yeah.
You'll need to rename this, Mike. You'll need to rename the episode to Graham pisses off the AFC East.
And here's another funny one: is UK Jets and UK Bills. They're really good friends with us too.
Pissing off everyone we're friendly with. It's pretty much only the Giants we haven't taken a shot at.
All the UK fan teams that like share and interact with us, all of a sudden we've just shunned them all off in one episode.
God, they'll be getting the bloody pitchforks out for us.
Rich, yeah. I'm gonna indulge you and say that the Black Cat was the best player for the New York Giants the night we played them.
I thought you were talking about more. I thought you were talking about the more chocolate pudding now.
We're back to that. We're back to that.
Let's face it, we took enough heat during the season. Now we're just dishing some out.
Yeah.
Right, but guys, go on, Paul.
I just said it takes two to tango.
To be fair, we can give this shit out now because technically we're undefeated still.
True.
Not just a pretty face.
But guys, just so you're aware, that does mark the end of our little reminiscence down 2019 / season 1 of UK Cowboys TV. It has, as always, when the six of us get together, been, should we say, enlightening and interesting and
educational,
provocative.
Drunk.
Me losing my shit over Neville Gallimore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was that
Yorkshire.
Yeah.
You get that
no.
clip in there.
That it will be. Don't you worry.
Or we could just all just kind of just sum it in one and just in 3 words and full of shit.
But I will before we end the show go through the thanks again. So first of all, guys, thank you to you 5, as well as the other 3 who aren't with us. But thank you guys. You 5 have made this what it was, fun, entertaining. And like we said at the very beginning, as long as we're having fun doing this, it doesn't matter if there's 1 listener or 1,000 listeners, we'll be doing it as long as we're having fun. And I can honestly say I've had fun with all 5 of you guys. It's been brilliant.
Quality biscuits.
Yeah. Thanks to you as well, Mike. It's been a good laugh, and here's to many more episodes with us all.
Losing our shit, losing our head.
I just want to thank Mike for keeping us on track, because there's been certain situations we've just gone off the rails completely.
You gotta know, mate.
A couple of months ago, when it was just like it was me, Paul, and it was like us four, like you, me, Brian, and and it just went off on a tangent for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're like, "Fuck, Mike's gonna be so mad at us when he comes to edit."
Richard, we are the guilty party, Richard. We are the guilty party.
I actually.
When it's up to Jeff, we were kind of, we do this for an hour and 40 minutes later, we're like, Jeff, I need to go.
That's right.
I want to go surfing. But I have actually used the clip where the four of you were in a show together. Okay, I do remember that. And I was like, what the fuck? How long is this show? I was downloading it, and it was on like 10% for about 20 minutes.
It was just like in the chat, Brian was like, yeah, guys, we need to wrap it up. Like 40 minutes later, we're like, we need to fucking wrap. We're not even
I realize it's like, and we're like, Mike needs to edit this shit.
Mate, but what you got to know is I don't do that much editing, because we try and keep it as what is original as possible, you know. But I also, as we've already said, like to thank all the celebrities, if you like, and media staff that have come on and joined the show, all the other creators, and then most importantly, we want to thank everybody who's joined us, who's liked the show, shared the show, sent in comments, questions. When we run the show and we do the watch parties and everyone gets involved, we cannot thank you enough. And even we decided, if you remember back in February, that we were going to keep doing the show, because we were going to cut it round about after the draft. But we kept it going because of the situation that was going on. And the comments we got from people telling us how much it meant to them that we were still going, and they enjoyed listening to us, not just in the UK, but in America as well. It was like a huge boost. That was brilliant. So we can't thank everybody enough. The support for it has been absolutely phenomenal for season 1. They always say season 1, though, is always the best. You know, like Walking Dead and Prison Break. Season 1's always the best, don't you think?
Yeah, but then you got, like, when you go into the film side of things, especially when you get to like trilogies, the second one's always the best.
Terminator 2,
Aliens,
Empire Strikes Back,
Godfather 2,
Terminator 2,
Aliens.
Oh, bro, Aliens.
I know. Homeward Bound 2, Return to San Francisco.
Why would you? Oh.
Mike, get the fuck.
Tell you what, that's what I forgot to say. I was looking on completely random tangent, nothing new there. I was looking on a merch page today, right? Just completely.
Everybody's losing his shit.
I was looking on.
And this is how we get to an hour and 40 minutes in a show.
I was looking at this page of it, right, and it was like travel mugs, and I don't know why there was nothing related to Scotland at all, but all it was just this travel mug, and it just said "get to fuck" on it, and I just broke down in the middle of the office just laughing. I was just like, "Fuck, I need to get that for Paul."
Believe it or not, I've actually got a "get to fuck" t-shirt.
Just start wearing it.
2 seconds. Wait, hold on. Before we finish up, let me go and get it. If I can find
all
it.
right.
If I can't find it in 10 seconds, then we'll finish up.
But just while you're there, I just need to give a shout out to some of the people who have supported our work as well. So a big shout out to Facebook groups like We Dem Boys, Touchdown House, Law Nation, Dak Prescott Group, Cowboys Old Cowboys Zone, Official America's Team, Silver and Blue, the Dallas Cowboys media team as well, Sky Sports, all the Facebook and Twitter groups and Instagram groups, everyone who likes and shares us, as well as Blogging the Boys and all the other NFL UK fan groups. You guys have been amazing and helping us get through season 1. It's been an absolute blast. And then before we finish off, see what if Paul managed to find his thing, just a shout out to no, you can find it. A shout out to our sponsor, Mr. Barry Griffiths, a.k.a. Cowboys Experience. We are getting closer to the season, which means, of course, if you are going to a game this season, make sure you book it through Cowboys Experience. They have game day tickets, stadium tours, and pre-game tailgate experiences for you to go to. Make sure you book your tickets. When you do, use the booking code UK Cowboys for your extra free gift. And then also send us your photos and your videos. We'd love to see what your experience is like with them.
Yeah.
Do you know who we are definitely not going to thank, though, on this show?
Oh, dear.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, dear.
We're definitely not thank the Philadelphia Eagles because they are a bunch of fucking clowns and they can go suck a dick.
And there goes. And just so you know, there goes UK Eagles off our list.
Yeah, but we don't give a fuck about them anyway. So, yeah.
I tell you what, you know what would be so good.
Show on a massive high.
We all wanted to say it, but Rich did it.
You know what would be so good for the extra editing? It's put the beep sound on top of Richard.
We are going to run a little clip in a moment, but before we do, season 2, which is coming up in 2 weeks, the UK Cowboys TV show is in fact going. So we'll still be doing the pre-recorded shows like we're doing now. Once the season starts, that'll be the post-game show running by our very own Mr. Irish Brian Gaynor over there. But we will be running live shows, which will be going on every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time. So that is a chance for you to talk to us, interact, get involved. It will be going on during the preseason. Then once the season starts, it'll be the pre-game shows. Totally live. So what you're seeing is what you're going to get like now.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, get your beat popcorn. Yeah. This is where we end up getting taken off air. This is where we get banned when we go live. So
yeah, Richard.
Better. But from myself, from Mr. Paul Stewart, Jamie Smith, Brian Gaynor, Graham Wilson, Richard Jones, and of course, not forgetting the 3 other guys, Ivan, Joe, and LDW. This is UK Cowboys TV, episode 66, season 1, the end. So if we just all give everyone a wave goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Don't be a clown.
Let's run that clip. Welcome, this is episode 1, season 1 of UK Cowboys TV. Live from Barhead, Scotland, at 6'1", 240 pounds.
Teams to do the job. Well, yeah, but I definitely think the similarities are just spooky.
We are now joined by former NFL scout and the MVP of DallasCowboys.com, Mr. Brian Broaddus. Hello, sir.
I'm very excited to join you guys. Thank you for including me.
That's no problem.
I'm okay to come out then. Yeah. Is it safe to come out?
Give it another 12 months.
Yeah, I'll see you in a bit. In the UK over here, they finished at 4:30 in the morning. So we were all on the late shift. Me and Jamie actually were in fact talking for the late hours. How are you feeling, Jay, after it all? You feeling a bit more awake than yesterday?
I'm used to now just living on lack of sleep.
I love the people there, but I love you guys too. So it's nice to be back with you guys.
Well, we love you, Brian.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
If you don't watch UK Cowboys fans, you make about as much sense as titties on a bull, man.
Since 2014 when we came over,
And man, it's still legendary how well you guys treated us while we were there. We've got some really great memories that time. So.
Oh my God, I love this. If you guys don't rate, review, and give all 5 stars to this episode, then there's something wrong with you.
Going on today.
So, yeah, 5 stars all around.
Really looking forward to this because you guys have done such a great job of growing this podcast. And, I've gotten to know all 3 of you guys through my time in